Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. Before I get into the how each thing says what it says, I want to talk about the layout of the design and how I intend it to be built upon an existing piece. So this grayed out bit here is the existing tattoo here, and then my idea for these names and dates is to wrap all the way around the forearm. And rather than taking a precise measurement and trying to get it to line up exactly, my plan is to have this little flexible bit here. So these lines are kind of my overlap lines here. So we can take our design, right? So here's our design. And when it wraps all the way around, this will connect up somewhere here, right? So it'll look okay if it just touches here. It'll look okay if it overlaps a bit more. But yeah, so you want to measure it and scale it to be about the size of all the way around your forearm, which, judging by this picture, it should be decently close as is. And then have this little guy here, this arc. Come here, you. This arc here. And this little line here, connecting it up to the existing design to make it kind of flow together just by having this wrap around. So there is some scalability and flexibility here, because if it needs to be bigger, we can make it a little bit bigger. Just so long as those two little lines end where they're supposed to go. Things will translate weird if you connect this line up to the A there. It's not the end of the world. It's just better if you connect it up to the here and here spots. And then this line, it can, just extend further down, right? And connect up wherever. You can do whatever you want with this line as far as where it ends, because it can end anywhere on this circle, just so long as it doesn't end on this circle. But yeah, so that is that, and how I plan on fitting it onto your arm, and yeah, that's kind of the most important bit of this video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get to reading these designs. So, you'll notice that I changed the format of the dates just to make them slightly more compact rather than dealing with like a bunch of punctuation like the slashes. And I also just made them the last two digits of the birth date rather than the 2000, because that would just make it even busier, and these are already quite intricate little circles compared to the existing design. And I wanted the emphasis to be more on the name than on the year. So I just shortened it to the last two digits of the year. So, oh yeah, reading order is bottom counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time, same as these designs where you start with the M-O-R-E, so bottom counterclockwise, and then the T-H-A-N going counterclockwise, and then here's Conqueror. So here's our little start marker. This symbol here is also optional, because it's in the same orientation as the other design, so you don't really need to flip it, so it's not necessary. It's just something to kind of fill the space here on this little connector circle. That's why I put it there. It's also, it doesn't really matter if this gets overlapped and covered up. But yeah, so this is our start and indicator as far as where the first letter of the first word is and which direction counterclockwise is. But here we have our first name, and it has 1, 2, 3 lines on a full circle floating inside the word circle. So just like the M in more with 1, 2, 3 lines on it, this M also has 3 lines on it. And then our A is floating outside of our word circle. And then we have this shallow divot here, and the shallow divot has no lines or dots, so that's a T. And then we have a circle crossing the line of our word circle, and it's bigger than our little vowels, so that would be a TH. And then our I has a line going inwards, and another A outside the word circle, and then this S has 1, 2, 3 dots. The reason why this doesn't count as an A or something on this word is because it's part of this number. So let's talk about numbers. Numbers are made by putting concentric circles, concentrically, you make concentric circles, and each of these concentric rings indicates a decimal place. And our decimal point, our like 0 marker, is this thick ring or solid dot in the middle. So here's our center of this word, center of this number here, center of this number here, and center of this number here. And then to figure out how many decimal places the number has, you see how many rings go around it. So this is just a 1 decimal place number. There's just one ones column. And then to figure out the digit in that decimal place, we've got to look at our modifiers, which are either circles or lines. And these circles, they can be empty like this one, or they can be filled in like this one. So if this little guy ends up getting filled in because it's so small, that's okay. Similarly, if our decimal point ends up getting filled in too, that's okay as well. So in this circle, in this ring, we have 2 lines, and those lines each count for 1. And then this circle counts for 5. So that's a 5 plus 2 1, so 5, 6, 7, which is good because our month is 7. And I also made them all so the month is a bigger circle, the day is the smaller one, and then the year is the biggest circle. So month, day, year. So even if the value of the number is bigger, I made the bigger measurement of time bigger, and that's not a rule or anything. That's just something I did to help add a little bit more meaning to the piece as a date rather than just numbers for numbers' sake. But anyway, 5, 6, 7 there, and then this one in our tens column, because we have 2 rings around this decimal point, we have 2 lines passing through, so that's a 2, and then in this ring we also have 2 lines passing through, so that would be a 22. And then continuing to this number, we have this first ring which has nothing in it. So this is a 0 in the tens column. And then in this ones column, we have that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 0, 9, which is good because we have the 2009 date here. So MATTHIAS 5, 6, 7, 2, 2, 0, 9. So that's that first name and date. And then in this name, starting at the bottom, we have this horseshoe shape. And that means we're in the top row. And then we have 2 lines. No, this is the one with 2 lines sticking off it, so that's the age. And then there's no lines on this one because it's in the first column, so it's a B. Our E is centered. And then we have an N with 1 line on it. And then we have an AIA because we have the AIA there. And then we have the H, that deep divot with 2 lines. So there's our name. And then this number, here's our decimal place, and there's 2 rings going out from it. And it's okay that these rings get overlapped by words and stuff. What matters is we can tell if there's a line interrupting the ring itself. So this doesn't count as like a line interrupting it. This counts as a line. So this would be a 1 in the tens column, and then there's a 2 in the ones column. So that's the 12. And then we have this number here. It's another 22, just like this 22, where we have 2 lines in each of these columns. So in the ones column, tens is the outer column. In the tens column, we have 2 lines crossing, and then in the ones column, we have 2 lines as well crossing. So that's another 22. And then this number here has just 1 in the tens column, and then nothing in the ones column. So that would be a 10. So BENAIAH, and then 1, 2, and then 2, 2, and then 1, 0. So that is that circle, and this circle is just to kind of connect up and link together with this to make it look like one big old design, part of one whole. And then we have this starting at the bottom. This looks like it could be a TH, one that crosses a circle. But very similarly to this one, I did something sneaky where I just made the line kind of fill in that empty space there. Because this gap, you'd never see that gap in an actual full word circle or letter stem. That is something you only have if it's line modifiers. So this is just the line coming from the I and again ending on the M. Our actual first letter is this guy here, which is centered on the line of the word circle, so it's an E. 1, 2, 3 lines ending on the M, I with a line going inwards, 1, 2, 3 dots on a full circle for the L, and then Y with 2 dots, so that's Emily. And then for this number, we just have our decimal place in 1 ones column, and in that ones column we have a 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's an 8. And then in this guy, we have 2 digit circles. In this outer tens column, we have just the 1 here. And then in this one, we have a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 19. And then in this guy, we have 2 columns. We have a 1 there, and then the 5 with another one there. I did that wrong. I did the that would be 16, not 14. I can count. I know numbers. This is why I check them. Okay, so this is 16. I don't know where I got 16. I guess I was just losing my mind a bit. But anyway, we're gonna fix that because it should be 14. It should be 1914. So we're gonna fix that. Actually, we're just gonna yoink this line. And those are 0.6. I need to make these thicker so that they'll ink better. There. Okay. So now this one should be the thin one. This one should be the thick one. Just because, you know, your tattoo artist is totally going to be able to get that degree of line thickness variation. Sarcasm. Okay, so now this is actually a 1 in the tens column and 1, 2, 3, 4 in the ones column. So that would be 14. So 8, and then 1, 9, and then 1, 4. Okay, so now for this last name, we start again at the bottom, and our first letter, going counterclockwise, is this little O. It's inwards a little bit more than typical, but I really wanted to make this half moon shape, especially because I featured it in this design. I wanted to kind of translate over here to kind of keep some continuity with the style. But anyway, our O inside our word circle. Then we have this L with 1, 2, 3 dots. You'll notice how this is shifted a little bit more to the right, where this is more to the left, because these 3 dots go with this letter, but these 3 dots go with this letter. Because if this were shifted to be exactly centered like this, it'd be really hard to tell which dots go where. So that's why I have it shifted over like that. It's on purpose. But 3 dots on the L. The I has a line going inwards. The V has one line on it there, and this E is centered, and then we talked about how those 3 dots are on this shallow divot for the R. So that would be Oliver. And then we have this number here, and this number has 2 decimal places, and there's a 1 in each of those columns, so that's an 11. And then in this one, we have our outer tens place with 1 in it, the 5, just the standalone dot, and then for our last number, we have this ring, this outer ring in our tens place, and this 1 line goes through that, so that's a 1 in the tens column, and then 5, 6, 7, so that's the 17. So yeah, that's that design. I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.